saviors type, um, event. And the reason I say that is how a lot of these abductees are saying, "Oh, they told me that they're gonna help us save the Earth and things like that." And and what else? Oh, and then also, yeah, the huge one was the fact that these people are starting to claim that they're, messing around with our nuclear weapons and disabling them. And then you have that, and then you also have the Theosophical Society talking about the Ascended Masters coming at the key time when we need them most, to save us from just complete destruction. Um, so yeah, I tend to lean towards the more extraterrestrials will be viewed as our savior. I mean, um, and like I said, it seems like the movies are kind of shifting towards that too. It used to be, the big fight between the extraterrestrials and the humans, but now it's like they seem to be having this trend of showing them not as our enemies, but as our saviors. So that's just where I lean. Like I said, I have no crystal ball. I do need to mention this at least once in this broadcast. This could just be pure disinformation they're feeding us. I know, uh, like Bill Cooper warned of this. The whole he believes when he was in the Navy, he was actually fed some disinformation on aliens and UFOs to kind of lead people away from the path. I hope that's not the case, but like I said, regardless, when the way I've been viewing things ever since, I've learned about public relations propaganda and the social engineers, shaping the thoughts and beliefs and opinions of huge groups of people, is to really just analyze. It's very interesting and very important to analyze what the establishment, the media, and just whether it's the media, the schools, and everything is kind of pushing. And they've so I think it's not a waste of time, regardless, to analyze why exactly is all this, what's the point of all this hype regarding extraterrestrials. So I mean, it could just be, yeah, like I said, just a huge distraction. Just trying to keep our minds off, the scoundrels in DC and the collapsing economy and all the wars that are still going on. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's what only time will tell ultimately. But I mean, if that is a distraction, I mean, that's important to realize too, because it's just the social engineers, they will stop at nothing to get their new world order. The global elite will do whatever it takes to get their new world order, so nothing is off the table. So don't think a fake, alien invasion is too far-fetched for them to try to pull off if they think that will get them what they wanted you know, for for centuries. Um, so yeah, I mean, it's just so. I'm just going through my notes here. Actually, let me just go into the chat room. I haven't been in here much. What do you guys think about this? Oh, crop circles you're mentioning. Man, crop circles. I got to be completely honest with you guys on crop circles. I think they've showed how those could be faked fairly easily. Um, I don't know. Maybe I haven't been seeing the right crop circles, but I mean they've actually done things where they have people create crop circles. That one is definitely is interesting, and I've seen crop circles with very Illuminati type symbology. So I don't know. Maybe they initially were real, and then people decided, to kind of fake them. Oh, hey Bob. Yeah, but yeah, crop circles. I don't know. I mean, they are cool looking though. I'll admit that. But I don't know. I'm more perplexed by things like cattle mutilations and alien implants, and yeah, crop circles, no doubt. I mean, those are interesting. They either are a big hoax or I mean, they really are sending a message that way. Um, so yeah, it's just funny the fact that Fox News is now. Oh, okay, that article. I don't know why. It seems like things are always slow whenever you need them. I click on that article right when I'm live and I can't get it. But anyways, that article popped up of conspiracy theorists confident altered image a NASA cover-up. So I think I'll just briefly read through a few parts of this just to tell you exactly what they're talking about. This is from FoxNews.com. Alien conspiracy theorists are confident they've caught NASA in the act of covering up the fact that we are not alone in the universe. A video posted on YouTube yesterday showed how an image of Saturn's moons, Dione and Titan, taken by NASA's Cassini orbiter, had been digitally altered before being added to the space agency's Picture of the Day website. And I'm sorry, I will go back to that in a second, but I would love to get to this caller. Area code 443, you're on the air. One second. Okay, area code 443, you're on the air.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go go ahead. Who is this?
Yeah, it's Garrett again, man. AKA YouTube / HiveMind 1984.
Oh, okay, it's you. I was afraid it might be the guy talking about eating crowns and stuff. What's up?
Yeah, man. Like, I was like more than willing to get off for someone who might have been sharing
Yeah,
something
yeah, sorry
a
about
lot,
that. Yeah.
a lot more interesting than I can offer. But yeah, just to briefly, you were talking about crop circles a minute ago. Yes, they have shown how they can be faked. Were you thinking of the planks with ropes basically into them, and you go through the field and stomp down? Like, because to my knowledge, that is how, like, it was like quote unquote debunked and whatnot. Now, I don't think crop circles are some like all important message for humanity or anything, but like apparently, when you like examine genuine crop circles where people, feel like some sort of magnetic charge in the air, what have you, the stalks of wheat are actually not broken, but like bent and like, actually molecularly like altered at the spot where they like the molecules like popped basically and like caused this stalk to bend and form these crazy, like you said, sometimes I mean, I've seen some crazy ones that have like serpents, and DNA like symbols on them. So like, I've also read some stuff just briefly. I didn't investigate it too much, but about that it could possibly be, like done with satellites, if you will,
Oh,
and
wow.
and like that, some kind of space technology to like, so that kind of ties in with the whole blue beam thing of a false alien invasion and what have you.
Mhm. No, yeah, no, that is cool. I'm really glad you called. And again, I'm sorry, I didn't, trust me, it was not my intention to go to that guy. He called at the same time you did, so I wanted to make sure I got to him too before he hung up. But yeah, I guess that's the thing with
I would,
Blog Talk. I mean, there's no way to screen calls or, that's what you get for doing, cheap, do it yourself radio. But anyways, yeah, so that's interesting. What you're talking about though. Yeah, I mean, so basically what you're saying is you do think there are genuine crop circles and it's not all a hoax.
that is my understanding of it. Now, whether like it's really some sort of otherworldly, or I mean, a lot of theories would have you say that like extra when you consider interdimensionality and stuff, that like maybe these things didn't come from so far off. We're experiencing parallel worlds and what have you. So like whether or not it's just our own government, messing with us uh, and trying to distract us like from like real stuff, like
Uh-huh.
you know war and you know just the general things that need to be fixed of the world, I guess, in society. Like it is an opiate for the masses to some degree. Like I mean, we have decades and decades of Hollywood films about aliens and extraterrestrials.
Mhm.
So molds our imagination to some degree. I think even people like who try to be more, conscious about their thoughts and what they allow, their perceptions to be molded to be. I still think, it's such a powerful force. They have all that money to make these amazing, mind-blowing special effects. Like you said, The Fourth Kind. I mean, that was a movie. That's an amazing film. They obviously embellished it a lot and made it like 10 times more like frightening and like horrific,
Yeah.
which kind of makes you wonder how he did that. But it doesn't sound like he had a good time anyway. Like when you read the guy's actual experience. So.
Oh no, man. It sounds out. I mean, like I said, there are some of people saying they turn around and they say, "Ooh, this is wonderful. I'm so spiritually enlightened." But those are pretty rare, and that could just be, them identifying with their captors to make it easier for them to deal with in their own minds.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah,
Well.
man. And one thing, just if I could mention real quick, that ties into about like aliens being these spiritually enlightened creatures. They always say that you humans need to amend your ways, and that we're there's impending ecological disaster is is an extremely common theme, as you mentioned.
Mhm.
And I just one thing that stands out in my mind reading some of these stories of contactees and whatnot, and is the theme of transhumanism.
Mhm.
And that's actually interesting because if you go back to, I mean, some people say this book was just, scribes basically messing with older texts, but the Book of Enoch, describes a lot about the Watchers and the so-called Nephilim and fallen angels, and they apparently gave mankind science, right?
Mhm.
So that includes chemistry, which includes alchemy, because that's basically just the old word for chemistry. And in alchemy, it's very interesting. There was a thing called, or some sort of, weird ritual you're supposed to do or something called the homunculus, and it's basically a little man. Now, it also has, sort of a metaphysical, spiritual meaning to, like, some people, I guess, who were into that, and people in the Middle Ages, it certainly did, like, and that's interesting. I mean, that ties into, like, you go into, like, areas of, like, dark witchcraft, if you will, and so it's very interesting how closely tied those things are at the hip, and just one other thing to throw out that ties into all this is a huge UFO religion founded by
Mhm.
a guy named Rael, or
Mhm.
well, that's the name he gave himself. His real name's Claude Vorilon, and he wrote a book called Yes to Human Cloning, and
Huh.
I mean, there's not much more to say about that.
No, that's cool that you brought that. Yeah, I plan on doing a whole show on UFO religions or quote cults. I don't like using the term cults. I think it's I mean, really, if you look at the definition of cult, any organized religion could be considered a cult. But that's what people know them as. So, UFO cults or religions. Yeah, definitely gonna do one soon. But I'm gonna go. Unless there's anything else you have to say, Jeff Grupp just wants to get a word in on crop circles, I guess. So, anything else you want to finish up with?
No, that's it. It was good talking to you again, man.
Yeah, man. Once again, I'm really sorry about going to I don't know if he's a prank caller or whatever that guy's deal was, but yeah. But thanks for calling back. You had great insight.
All right. Thank you, man.
Yep.
Take
Later.
care.
All right, going to area code 765.
Hey, man,
Hey.
that was a prank caller. That guy's just some twerp in his parents' basement with. You must be getting a little bit bigger than we all are suspecting here, Ed. If you're already getting the prank callers, so so that's actually a good thing rather than a bad thing. But maybe if
It
he
could have
could
been
eat
a
a
lot
couple more
worse.
crayons and watch. Yeah, yeah, sure could. If he could maybe eat some crayons and listen to another show, it would be favorable. But anyway, yeah, I can't resist. I hope you don't mind me chiming in about crop circles. I love that caller. If I see him still on there, if you go back to him and get his YouTube channel, I want to check out some of his stuff. Hive Mind 1984 or something, I think it was.
Yep.
But yeah, I totally agree that crop circles are mysterious because there's a bunch of them, like Nancy Talbot. What's that research foundation? She must have a bunch of money or something. She basically founded. This is Nancy Talbot. She's been on the Wrench show a lot. She founded a show, not a show, a company which just researches crop circles, just meticulous scientific analysis. I mean, would make the academics drool. Well, I mean, actually, probably not drool, but I mean, it's much more sharp than most academic research investigating crop circles, and she's basically found that about half of them are clear hoaxes. Then there's a gray area of some 20-30% of them, and then there's this mysterious 20 or so percent of them that appear they're not done by any known technology. So then that leaves the question that it was either it's an otherworldly technology or an extraterrestrial technology, or maybe Dr. Deagle thinks it's a numerological sort of event, where you've got archetypes from higher dimensions implanting things into soft material on Earth. I mean, they can't do it in buildings or something because that material is too hard, but these archetypes are being implanted. I've thought about that view through the years because I know he's said it for years, and it makes more and more sense the more I think about it. But there's also another option here. This mysterious group of crop circles that you can't describe by known technology could be government hoaxing, because the 50% of those that are faked, clearly the only group that's going to do that is some corporatist entity or government, or both.
not as our enemies, but as our saviors. So that's just where I lean. Like I said, I have no crystal ball. I do need to mention this at least once in this broadcast. This could just be pure disinformation they're feeding us. I know, uh, like Bill Cooper warned of this. The whole he believes when he was in the Navy, he was actually fed some disinformation on aliens and UFOs to kind of lead people away from the path. I hope that's not the case, but like I said, regardless, when the way I've been viewing things ever since, I've learned about public relations propaganda and the social engineers, shaping the thoughts and beliefs and opinions of huge groups of people, is to really just analyze. It's very interesting and very important to analyze what the establishment, the media, and just whether it's the media, the schools, and everything that. And then you also have the Theosophical Society talking about the ascended masters coming at the key time when we need them most, to save us from just complete destruction. So yeah, I tend to lean towards the more extraterrestrials will be viewed as our savior. I mean, and like I said, it seems like the movies are kind of shifting towards that too. It used to be, the big fight between the extraterrestrials and the humans, but now it's like they seem to be having this trend of showing them saviors type, event. And the reason I say that is how a lot of these abductees are saying, "Oh, they told me that they're gonna help us save the Earth and things like that." And and what else? Oh, and then also, yeah, the huge one was the fact that these people are starting to claim that they're, messing around with our nuclear weapons and disabling them. And then you have thing is kind of pushing, and they've, so I think it's not a waste of time, regardless, to analyze why exactly is all this, what's the point of all this hype regarding extraterrestrials? So, I mean, it could just be, yeah, like I said, just a huge, huge distraction. Just trying to keep our minds off, the scoundrels in D.C. and the collapsing economy and all the wars that are still going on. But